Hey, welcome back. I hope you had a safe Memorial Day weekend. Um, all in all, it went by with not too much serious stuff. Of course, our caseload will bump up a little bit, but thankfully it wasn't a lot of shootings and a lot of murders, that sort of stuff. It's more nuisance things and drugs. And I don't know when the word's going to get out about the drugs, but last week off of our trial roster we had 3 that ended up pleading once the case was called to trial. All 3 drug cases, 1 in Georgetown and 2 here in Horry. There was a lot of other cases, and we've got court this week, but it's a short week, so I'm imagining if anything does catch, it'll be a short drug trial. Those drug trials are a lot easier to do. A murder case is going to take pretty much all week. You pick a jury on Monday, motions Monday afternoon, and the rest of the week. Drug might be 4 or 5 witnesses, so you could do several of those each week and still have time to spare. But in Georgetown, Antoine Galat, 27, of Georgetown, was found guilty of trafficking in fentanyl, 14 grams. Angela Lane handled that case for us. He got 10 years in prison, and that is a most serious offense. You also had, now this was in Conway, but we had a Merle's Inlet man get 10 years. Part of it was drugs, part of it was domestic violence. The judge heard all of it, and Joshua Darby, 38, got 10 years. That was for distribution of fentanyl and second-degree domestic violence. Real quick, domestic violence is domestic violence high and aggravated, which really could look like attempted murder. The step under that is domestic violence first. Domestic violence second is really usually domestic violence third, which is a push or a slap, but with added taking the phone away or doing this in front of children. That is sort of a qualifier that moves it up to domestic violence second. And of course Darby was convicted of that and the fentanyl and received 10 years on those charges. And finally, Marcus Pyatt, 46, of Conway. This was scheduled to be our first up case. He was pled guilty to distribution of crack when the jury was being selected, and he was sentenced to 10 years. That charge carried as little as 5 years and as much as 30 years, and the judge gave him 10 years. But a little comment on this one. The Friday before, it was trial, and the judge even asked, now if this is going to be a plea, let me know, because I don't want to come down there Monday and this turn into a plea. But almost every time that's exactly what happens. It turns into a plea. And the prosecutors had spent a good bit of time getting ready for it. But it's like I told them, had you not been ready for it, it probably would not have pled. Had you not brought all of the SLED agents in and everybody else, I assure you it wouldn't plea. And that is why when it gets on the trial roster, we don't ask for anybody to plead to anything. It's just whatever mercy or grace you're going to get from the judge. And I would say that was a merciful sentence. But having said that, that doesn't come from us. We're up there pushing for 20 or 30 years, and I can't keep you from pleading guilty. But when we've done all of that work and inconvenienced all of those witnesses, we don't want to be in a position where we're trying to plead this thing away. So it pled, he got 10 years, all of them got 10 years. That's sufficient for their charges, but we'll be back at it again this week, and we'll probably have a few more of these drug cases. It's Tuesday, but I'll guarantee I'll be back next Monday talking about how it pled at the last minute. Just let me assure you that is not us. Once we've prepped this thing for trial, we're ready to go forward. And a plea comes from the defendant. The defendant says, "I did it." There's nothing to try then. So then it's up to the judge. And generally, judges will take into account prior record and the fact, even in federal court, they'll tell you if you accept responsibility early, then we give you a lower sentence. If you accept it late, you get a much higher sentence. And that's what we really push for here at the state level also. But have a great week, and stay safe, and we'll be back again Monday.